And welcome back to LinkedIn Logs, the jobs podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. I don't know what's going on. I just had to restart the theme song because it was crackling. It's only this theme song. The other theme songs for other podcasts don't happen to be that way. Okay. Sorry, I'm responding to a message. There you go. God, I hope that's right. Anyway, welcome back in. This is episode 102 of LinkedIn Logs, a jobs podcast. Why is this so hot? I think it sounds fine. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to turn it down a little bit, though. We have, it is the middle of the work week. Not the middle. Tomorrow will be the middle. We're in the middle of the Olympics. It's warm out there. It's 69 degrees today up top. And last week, I don't know if I mentioned this. Last week I was the people above me were out of the office, so I was left in charge of taking care of things for a day. And boy, oh boy, the person you don't want to charge is me. No, I'm kidding. I had I think I mentioned this. It was a good day. I kept busy, obviously. And then Friday, we're all signing off, and there's a Slack channel. We all say hello, we all say goodbye, and other things. But we're all signing off, and then I see, hey, I'm gonna be out of office, so if you need anything, go to Chad on Tuesday. And I went, excuse me? Because we didn't work on President's Day. And I went, oh boy. So this morning, I finished working out. I finished stretching. I finished showering and eating. And I sit down at the computer. And then I just go to town. I get together a schedule. I'll tell you what I did this morning. I get together a schedule of things that are due for the week. And that keeps me busy for about an hour. You know, it's important. You just got to keep busy. And then I send it out to all the editors that need their, just stay on top of things. And then I'm getting things that are being delivered. So I have to go into the programs and make sure that they're delivered and everything's copied well. I'm responding to the emails. I'm putting things into the Airtable that we use. Airtable's it's not scheduling, but it's like a database, a scheduling database, I guess. I don't know. And I'm just marking things down, and there's truly no respite. And then I gotta take Maverick out. So we go to the Disney. We go to the dog park for a total, it's 45 minutes. It's a 5-minute walk there, a 5-minute walk back, and 35 minutes of him running around with some other dogs. Some that we know, some that we don't. I get back, and thankfully the emails have slowed. I don't have to answer but one or two. I get back, and as soon as I take him off the leash, though, I look at the emails oh, it's not that many, and then 20 come in. And I'm like, oh, good. So I'm just, I was answering emails for another hour, and I finally ate lunch. And it's still going on. Yes, I have to respond to this. And I was hired. I know for a fact I was hired to help out for lack of a better term, my supervisor. I was hired to help that person out and take some projects off of their plate. More specifically, 2 networks off of their plate. And I said, great. And now I'm not technically doing their job, but I'm covering the things that I know how to cover. Doing that, I don't understand how this person was able to do two jobs at once. It's insane. Kudos to them, truly. Other than that, we're going strong. I recorded a little bit. I'm again back on the audiobook front. I recorded some of that, and I have to finish that at some point, maybe this week. And then I have another interview with another comedian coming out this week, so that's going to be good. All right, that's it for the my news on the personal front. Let's get into some stories. Okay, this is from last week. This comes from the New York Times, written by a slew of people, including Lydia DePillis, Joe Renison, and others. It was updated February 14th. We're fine. U.S. hiring starts the year at a strong pace. So we got the jobs report, and it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, or as it was thought to be. The unemployment rate fell to 4.3%. The economy added 130,000 jobs in January. And this is all thanks to healthcare. Now, while this is a rebound, I'll show you the chart. While this is a rebound from from December, we still see that it is lower than the high in 2025. Wow. 2025 was better than 2024, like marginally, though, at least. As Lydia writes, employers added 130,000 jobs in January. The Labor Department reported on Wednesday, and the delayed report, which was delayed because of the short government shutdown at that point. The unemployment rate fell to 4.3% from 4.4% a month earlier. It's a sign that the labor market might be emerging from a period of extremely slow growth brought on by a trade war that made companies hesitant to hire, an immigration crackdown that lowered the number of available workers, and a federal government firing spree. Annual revisions to earlier data changed the picture of last year. The economy added only 181,000 jobs in 2025, which is down from an earlier estimate of 584,000. With the government now currently partially shut down due to Democrats refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security, rightfully so, I wonder if this is, mentioning that the ICE government shutdown, the ICE making the arrests and people not being able to work, or even wanting to go to work for fear of being arrested. And by people, I mean immigrants. I wonder if that'll have any effect on people going out for jobs now. And then also reporting those. More people are working. The labor force participation rate for people in the prime working years, which is between 25 and 54, jumped to 84.1%. That's as high as it's been since 2001. But with that might sound like a positive, but with that, things are getting more expensive and retirement is just out of the question for a lot of people. So isn't it possible that people, the labor force participation rate is just being inflated due to people being forced out or not even being able to retire, especially at that over 50 range? Working longer. And another sign of strong labor demand, the average work week edged up by 0.1 hours. That number has been depressed for months as employers tried to keep people busy even with fewer orders. Wages are up. Average hourly earnings rose by 3.7% over the year. But doesn't that come from several states raising their minimum wage? But that's more recent, I guess. The growth has been more stratified, with those on the higher end of the income ladder seeing faster raises. Yeah. Slow hiring, slower layoffs. Okay. Seasonal quirk, although it seems like there's been more layoffs regardless. Seasonal quirk. Sluggish hiring of seasonal workers during the holidays may have boosted the number. If fewer were laid off in January, that would translate to a stronger reading after the Bureau of Labor Statistics adjust for typical seasonal fluctuations. I'll tell you this. I had to go get my car checked out. The heat exchange. This is for hybrids. The heat exchanger on the Kia Niro between 2017, I know mine is included, so 2018 at least, to like 2020, is just bunk. It just doesn't work, and it's a known flaw. Regardless, I had to go get it checked out, $169, and it's a $3,900 repair, including parts and labor. I drove, thankfully, I was able to, the guys called me earlier at like 3:00, and I was able to go pick it up. Kids are, I think, either they're in winter break or not, but I still drove back in traffic, and it was not fun. I hate traffic. I've engineered my entire life to not even ride in traffic. I love my car. I would keep my car. I would rather not drive it during busy hours. I want to drive it early in the morning, maybe late at night. And otherwise, unless I'm going somewhere important to meet people, to do whatever, I just don't want. I don't want to drive to work. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want any of that jazz. I got a new watch and a heart rate monitor. I gotta celebrate me, baby. Anyway, I said I got a new watch because it vibrated, and if you're watching the video, you probably saw it light up. Whatever. All right, this next one comes from the New York Times again. Look at that. Warner Bros. Discovery restarts deal talks with Paramount, as is written by Lauren Hirsch. On Tuesday, Warner Bros. Discovery, which is today, said that it's going to get back in the conversation with Paramount Skydance, even though it's still on a handshake agreement with Netflix. This is because Paramount came back in the last couple of days to talk about giving some more money for the deal. I think I spoke about this either last week on this podcast or on the Constitutionals, the Entertainment Business News podcast, which agreed to pay the $2.8 billion fee that WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, would owe Netflix if their agreement was terminated, along with other debt costs that Warner Brothers Discovery has. Remember, Discovery, when it purchased Warner Brothers, had like $50 billion in debt. Warner Brothers was like $50 billion in debt. I think the total cost of it was $50 billion. And they paid some of that down by canceling shows, selling off other shows and movies to other platforms and networks, and layoffs and all this junk. Paramount also said it would pay Warner Bros. Discovery shareholders around $650 million in cash starting in 2027 for each quarter the deal did not close. Again, the Ellisons are in with Trump. They're in like Flint with Trump. So that $650 million cash for each quarter that the deal does not close, I think, is fully moot. And they're truly not seeing the full picture. because I guarantee if Warner Brothers went with Paramount Skydance for this deal, then we would see the end of Warner Brothers. We would see the end of HBO Max. We would see the end of HBO. And Paramount would become the brand name, and Showtime would become that other brand name. And that deal would close December 2026 without fail, because the president said so. But they're just seeing the potential millions and billions that they could make, these shareholders. I was thinking about this today. If I was again, I'm nowhere near this, but if I were somebody, if I were a producer or an actor or a musician who had a big contract at Warner Brothers, I would just say, hey, cancel the contract Pay me my money. I'm going to go to Apple. I'm going to go to Disney. I'm going to go to somebody else who, and look, I'm not even the biggest fan of Disney, but I would rather go with the devil I know, which is what Warner Brothers should do with Netflix, but whatever. It's fine. According to the terms of the Warner Bros. Discovery contract with Netflix, it can engage in talks with the rival bidder if it thinks it can lead to a, quote, reasonably superior offer. There was an activist investor last week when this deal was brought up that said, hey, we'd be stupid not to look at it. They have until, and then other investors and shareholders were like, we should at least entertain the idea. They have until February 23rd to entertain the offer. Netflix says this is all smoke and mirrors. And they released a statement pretty much saying so. And they also said something that's very important, which I think makes sense on a business sense. Netflix has consistently taken a constructive, responsive approach with WBD in stark contrast to Paramount Skydance. Yeah. Netflix can improve its own bid in case Warner Brothers does suggest that this Paramount bid is better. And actually, I think Paramount's stock went up 5% because of this announcement. Whereas when Netflix was said to be buying Warner Brothers, their stock went down. Shares of Netflix have been under pressure since it announced the deal in December, falling about 15% this year. Its stock rose 1.5% in pre-market trading. Discovery said on Tuesday it had scheduled a shareholder vote on Netflix's offer for March 20th. What is that February 23rd date? Paramount will have until February 23rd to negotiate its best and final offer. Okay. So, and Paramount has already said this is not the best and final offer. So I wonder what more they have to offer. And again, the money is coming from not just Larry Ellison, who is a staunch Trump supporter and who is a billionaire who owns already way too much. The money is also coming from 3 or 4 Saudi companies and princes. You don't want this. You shouldn't want the Netflix one either. You shouldn't have wanted Disney and Fox, 20th. But we're talking about monopolies here. A monopoly would be Paramount and Warner Brothers. And not only that, it'd be the erasure of what Warner Brothers is. Like, even in the past couple of days, I'll say that even in the past 24 hours, Paramount Skydance has been in the news not for positive things. In the past 24 hours, in the past 12 hours, Stephen Colbert was told not to air an interview with I think a Democratic senator, right? Stephen Colbert, FCC. Yeah, this is from NBC. Stephen Colbert says CBS didn't air interview out of fear of the FCC with Texas State Rep James Tallarico because of CBS feared the equal time rules, which is you have to give candidates on both major parties equal time on your broadcast if you feature the opposing candidate or party. Or excuse me, candidate, yeah. And then on top of that, Anderson Cooper left 60 Minutes as a correspondent. Yes, he was already working at CNN, but he was also a correspondent for 60 Minutes, and he's been there for decades. That should be a big red flag when it comes to people's enjoyment of whatever CBS is turning into. But people only want to see money. And finally, this comes from Variety. It's written by Todd Spangler. Scripps layoffs loom as company sets major cost-cutting and revenue growth plan that will include the use of AI and automation. This is, I included this because I used to work at Scripps. I was laid off from Scripps. It was the only job where I made a salary. I made... this is not the number, but let's say I made roughly $30,000 less than I make today. Roughly. I'm not kidding. Like I wish I was joking. That number is very, very close to accurate. Even my next position, I was making $20,000 less than. Like, isn't that wild? EW Scripps is expecting to make layoffs in the near future as the company, which operates more than 60 local TV stations in the U.S., has embarked on a plan aimed at boosting adjusted earnings up by $150 million over the next 3 years. Scripps said that the transformation plan is coming February 26th with its earnings call after reporting fourth quarter 2025 financial results, including the, quote, timing cadence of savings being realized and the cost to achieve the savings. And so we don't know how much the layoffs will consume, but as of December 31st, 2024, Scripps reported about having about 5,000 employees, including full-time and part-time employees. Don't know why you put employees twice in that sentence. Because sometimes people just cold read it. Of those, various labor unions represented approximately 360, all of which are in its local media group. Now, listen, you never take layoffs personally. You're not supposed to take layoffs. You're not supposed to take layoffs personally or contract non-renewals. But man, that is the only thing that wakes me up in the morning is to prove the people that laid me off and refuse to answer emails after the fact. Oh my God! If you lay somebody off, don't say, "Hey, you can reach out anytime." So that if you need help or if you need like a letter of recommendation or something, don't do that. Don't do that, because I will hold that in the back of my head. I hold your first name and your last name, and when it's time to get reparations, boy, oh boy, will I be taking them. It's going to be a quote enterprise-wide transformation plan that is designed to, quote, improve operating performance and unlock new value. That company sucks ass. This comes all via Scripps CEO Adam Simpson, who is a guy when Scripps bought the local networks that I was working at, when they bought Bounce TV. I always saw him in a skyscraper doing his video calls. And again, I don't have time to get into it, but go listen to the past episodes of this show. I despise Scripps. I despise Bounce TV. Every single person that works at both companies. And it was, I did not have a good experience with that. And when the pandemic hit, I was one of 4 people out of 200 or so people still going into the office. Every single person in my department was given like work from home stipends, like just for their internet and all that stuff. Oh, I hated that place. I hated that place. I was thinking about this week though. My first week there, my dad died. It's not funny. My dad died, and then I was just like, I have to take a couple of days off of work. They did have bereavement pay though, but I was salaried, so it didn't fucking matter. Last fall, Sinclair, the U.S.'s biggest local TV station group operator, made an unsolicited offer for Scripps. The board of Scripps in December rejected the proposal. The hostile bid came as Nexstar Media Group agreed to acquire Tegna and a $6 billion transaction that would run afoul of the FCC's 39% ownership cap. You can't own more than 39% of the broadcast signal, essentially. Nexstar has filed for a waiver for the ownership cap, which they will get because look at who the president is, and look at who Sinclair and Nexstar support. This is not a surprise. Local TV stations aren't very lucrative, even though you can get them over the air and you will get viewership, especially now since streaming platforms have just grown to bulbous proportions in terms of pay. And when Scripps purchased Bounce had a few sister channels, Bounce TV, Grit, some other shitty ones, and then they merged them. They didn't merge the broadcast signals, but they also have Scripps now. Ion. Ion is a huge channel with, I believe, national syndication, whereas Bounce and Grit don't have that, and the rest of those fucking shitty channels. But Ion is important to them because they also had, and Court TV, that's right. But Court TV was just sold off to like Law and Crime Network or some shit. I don't know. Yes. Earlier this week, Scripps announced a deal to sell Court TV to Law and Crime. I don't know math, but I know this. The true crime and legal content network led by Dan Abrams that is now owned by Jelly Smack. Financial terms weren't disclosed. The deal reportedly values Court TV at less than $125 million. Court TV is very important because it is a network that aired, like the OJ trial, and it airs trials like tip to taint all the time. Anyway, and Ion also runs WNBA games, so you can also watch Ion on Tubi, I believe. So that's a big thing. But yeah, I have no feelings for this. Scripps operates Ion, Ion Plus, Ion Mystery, Bounce, Grit, and Laugh. That's what it is. Laugh. It is also known for being the longtime steward of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Maybe, and I hate to say this, maybe the person that laid me off is also laid off. I don't hate to say it. I hope she's laid off. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's it. But I don't know where this AI automation tool thing comes in. It just, I guess we'll hear more about, okay, they're just going to leverage technology, including AI and automation. So we'll see what happens February 26th. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what they could do. I assume when they laid me off, I was replaced with some AI tool or some bullshit. But I was invaluable. I had to go in. I was invaluable. Nobody ever clinked their pots and pans for me. Clink, 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 clink. I don't know where their automation could come in because there was a lot of, at least in my department, there's a lot of FCC stuff and editing after the fact and before the fact. All right, listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com. Oh, Tiger Woods is eyeing a return in 2026. Wait. Yeah, okay. As soon as the Masters. Interesting. It's breaking news. If you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes. There's a new interview coming out with a writer from Jimmy Kimmel Live. He has a new special, or record, excuse me, he has a new album coming out. And that'll be, not Jimmy Kimmel, the writer. So that'll be out. If you want to listen to it, it's under the Constitutionals podcast. RSS feed, the Constitutionals, and it'll be a bonus episode coming out tomorrow. If you want to if you want to listen to other podcasts, LinkedIn Logs, which is the jobs podcast, subscribe to that one as well. If you want to watch the interview, if you want to watch any video version of the podcast, go to youtube.com/C+Comedy, where you can watch all that stuff. Check us out on social media. It's at C+Comedy on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Me at Chad Black White. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.